First, I'd like to respond to Marina's claim about the growth of and psychological development of a child. She seems to have parents pegged to be an all-knowing, mature, mentally stable, understanding people in general that are going to help their child through the process and be supportive. And the reality is that while some parents may be like this, it is highly likely that they are not going to approve at all of what their child has been through. They're going to be very mad at their child. They're not going to want to jump in and give them they're not going to sit down Indian style and give them an understanding speech about what they should do. They're going to be very mad. Like, think of telling your parents this a year ago when you were 17. Like, even if you think your parents are good parents, I think my parents are great parents who would eventually understand, but this is something that would freak any parent out. And the earlier that a child can get an abortion, and the earlier they can get, if they were required to have it signed off by a parent, the earlier they could get it signed off by the parent, then the better and the safer it would be. And the claim of the grandparents and parents adopting them is kind of assumptive, given the fact that it is, regardless of who they think may adopt the child in the future, it is that young woman's child, and she can do with her body what she thinks is best for it. And assuming that the grandparents or parents are going to adopt it, these are the kind of grandparents or parents that would probably know about the child and who would probably be talked to by their child. And I want to bring up something that is a little bit cliche. When you turn 18, is your psychological development like immediately over? I think everyone's heard, like, do you really wake up on your 18th birthday and immediately become all-knowing and your psychological development is done and you become able to make all the decisions with your health? And, like, I understand this common argument, but like, the mental development of any 18-year-old is still going, and a 17-year-old understands this. Like, you don't become immediately matured and done with the supposedly incapacitating mental development that my colleagues seem to think makes 17-year-olds completely unaware of the prices of their own abortion. It could be said that making the decision to have an abortion is something that requires a lot of foresight and thought, because you're thinking you don't want to bring a child into a world that's going to have uncommitted, wanting parents who do not have stable jobs or stable financial income and cannot support this child. It's not going to be a good life for this child. And if a 17-year-old can see this, they may want to make the choice to have the abortion, not because they just want the child out of them and it's childish of them that they're not wanting to take on the responsibility, but because they realize the intensity of the responsibility and how life-changing it really is for a young person, and how little the inexperienced parents could help with what was happening. Like, I'm sure anyone would assume that if you want the best for that child, and a 17-year-old in high school is not going to be able to make enough money to keep up with a child and to give the child a life that it deserves. So, and a woman, as Nancy was saying, a woman has control of her body, young or old, and it's her body. Like, regardless of the parents do not own the child, and they have the decision-making skills to understand what they are doing, and the maturity that it takes to make the decision to have sex, the maturity it takes to make all these decisions. They can make these decisions, and they know what they mean. If we really care about our children and they care about themselves, an early, safe abortion is absolutely critical, and they cannot get this with the conflicting points of legal block. Thank you.